Hi everybody, this is Bentley the Compost Guy Christie here again, and this is my third installment of my Worm in Follow Along series. And if you're just tuning in, you may want to check out the first two videos. Basically what I've been trying to do with this system, which is a flow-through vermicomposting system. Essentially garbage goes in the top and compost comes out the bottom. And what I've been trying to do with this is sort of challenge it to the max. I absolutely don't recommend these sorts of practices in general, especially if you're just getting into vermicomposting. This is just something that I'm kind of doing for fun. I just kind of want to see what I can get away with in a sense, and how much waste I can process with this system. So if you've seen the videos already, you'll know that last Friday, today is Thursday, and last Friday I added about 15 pounds of food waste, fairly coarse food waste. I didn't really do much with it. It probably had sat outside, I think, for a period of time, so it likely froze, which helped to start the breakdown process. But other than that, I hadn't really chopped anything up or blended or done anything like that. So it's fairly bulky stuff, and you can certainly see the evidence of that just in the bin here. Things like cabbage take a long time to break down, and really if I wanted to do this effectively, I would probably do a lot more with the cabbage because it's very, very resistant stuff. But anyway, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another 10 pounds of waste material. You can see that the level has gone down a fair amount from the previous Friday. Like I said in the last video, it was quite mounded up when I left things on the Friday, and it's dropped down quite a bit, partially as mentioned since it's settled out in the bottom of the system, and partially just because it is getting processed. First of all, let's just do a quick tour again. Now, I mentioned there's lots of different creatures in here. I'm kind of wanting to see what the worm numbers are looking like up near the top here. I found some pretty good concentrations of worms last time, and you can see some there. They do seem to be rising to the occasion here in this system, and definitely some pretty decent concentrations of them up near the top. And I actually, you may notice that it looks a little bit moist. I did do a light watering just before I started filming here. The system like this, it can be a bit challenging to keep it nice and moist, as I mentioned I think in the last video. And there's a pretty good patch of them. And the worms definitely concentrate in the areas with the highest moisture in general. And as long as you can provide them with the oxygen, and that's one advantage, I guess, of this bulky food material that I've been adding. It does help the airflow a fair amount, as does the chunks of cardboard and whatnot that are in here. Yeah, so it seems to be a reasonable number of worms. It's not off the charts by any means, but there seem to be some pretty good pockets of wigglers up near the top here, and I know that there's going to be lots of them a bit further down as well. Alright, so anyway, what I'm going to be doing here is, it's a bit of a multi-step process here. For starters, I'm going to be adding some egg carton cardboard. It's actually drink tray cardboard. For whatever reason, my wife's co-workers have taken it upon themselves to load me down with these drink trays from a coffee shop, and I'm certainly appreciative of that because I love this material. So what I'm going to do, it's sort of just establish a bit of a bottom here. I'm not going to worry about wetting that down just yet. And next I'm going to attempt to add this 10-pound bucket of food waste that you can see right there. It's going to be a bit of a maneuver. We've got a pretty low budget operation here, so it's just me attempting to do all this on my own. So it may get entertaining. I don't even know if this is going to fit, but we're going to make it work. Okay, I think we probably lost a few grams there over the edge. Okay, this is clearly going to be an interesting exercise because it looks like I'm already kind of overloading things here. So I'm going to try to adjust. And again, I mean, that's just ridiculous. You'd never ever add something like that to a worm bin if you expected to see a really good, fast processing time. And bulky things like that, again, it's not really a best way to optimize space or optimize the actual vermicomposting process. So yeah, I'm just kind of continuing with my lazy ways here, and we'll see what happens. Basically, that's the moral of the story. Now, this is getting interesting. If I can get this in, it's going to be a small miracle, or a large miracle, depending on how you look at it. But, I mean, this is, I'm almost just kind of shocked at myself here. Because these are certainly not, a lot of these materials, I'm happy because we got it in, but a lot of these materials are definitely things I would not, lemons in general aren't the greatest material to add to a worm bin. And certainly not basically whole lemons with a bit of scrapings off the edge. What I would recommend for citrus is to add it in moderation. You can see the peels here. I find that the springtails, which are, they generally focus on the fungi, those are great to have because they really attack the things like the citrus peels and whatnot. So they sort of start on them, and then once everything gets moistened down and packed down, then the worms sort of go to town on it. So there we go. We did get it in, so that's nice. We're back in sort of the same boat that we were in before. Now on Friday, that is, because we've packed up the system, and there isn't a whole lot of room here. And what I'm going to do next is add some, this is what I call compost ecosystem. And I tend to keep a fair amount of this around. I really love it as a material. It's, I guess if I screened this, you could probably call it vermicompost. It is material that the worms were living in. Once upon a time, a lot of it was probably an aged horse manure. That was, you know, quite some time ago. You can see the little wood chips and whatever. But I just find it's a really, really excellent material. It's very biologically active, lots of good microbes in there. And so this is going to help to sort of get the rotting process into overdrive here a bit. The other great thing about it is it'll probably be a bit of a biofilter. Just the any gases or whatever that are starting to come up will sort of pass through that. And compost in general is used very successfully as a biofilter because it can trap various chemicals like ammonia and whatnot. So anyway, we'll just do that for starters. I'm kind of running low on time here in terms of wanting to upload this to YouTube. So this is basically it. I'm just adding a bit of cardboard over the top. I'm probably going to be moistening this slowly over the next few days. And yeah, I hope to provide you with a bit of a follow-up on this one as well. Alright, so thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is Bentley the Compost Guy Christie. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.